is 9/25, and we're just looking at the codes in these headlines, and we know that they even code the date. So let's pop that in, take a look, and I already scrolled down to save view time to show you that this probably has to do, this is the simple gematria for that coded date and the time, and this is the English gematria, and this probably has to do with the miracle story that came out where the Pope worked a miracle healing the 2 holes in the baby's heart, and I decoded that. That's a longer decode, it's not a nugget, it's a longer decode. And I decoded that thoroughly, showing you that if that did happen, and I do believe in miracles, but if that did happen, they coded the numbers over it, and there are hidden messages in there that we need to be aware of. Also in this code are microchip associations, tribe of Dan, human being, third eye, Uranus, and covenant, among other things. November, the magician here, that's what this is. And we see a lot of 144 numbers, and so he does associate himself. I'd like to try to remember this, that 144 is the magus number, so, or the magi, and so he does associate himself being a magician, being associated with miracles, being Christ-like, and this is all done by the numbers. And so when we see this number, we can see that you are being subliminally influenced to see him as a magical being. But it's basically hypnotic programming, and you need to be aware of that, and your loved ones need to be aware of that. I missed this the first time. Uranus upside down is 911. So that's another thing we need to keep in mind. I'm actually not really fluent on all the Uranus symbolism, so I need to learn more about that. So look up here at the top and see how innocent that looks. It looks so functional, doesn't it? Storyline, Pope Francis visits America. I mean, they just, some good-hearted, journalist just put that up there to make this page more understandable for other people. Or it matches the dates. Look at this. In the Jewish gematria, there's a 23 and a 25. That adds up to a 48 altogether. But not only that, the 2 and the 2 make a 9 with the 5. So then you add a 9 basically to all of these dates. The 2-2 is also a reference to the most common, the lowest form of human. The human who is unable to think for themselves. So that's why 22 degrees is a frozen state. You are not thawed. And then 23 is actually a step above 22. Down here we have a 2442 mirror, and this was the day, depending, I'm actually not sure if the sacrifice of 717 people, which is 3 times 239, or 923, in Mecca was on the 23rd or the 24th. But if it was on the 24th, which equals 9/11 according to the Julian Gregorian calendar equivalents, that's what they're referring to here. They're just banging the drum on that sacrifice day. I think they had more planned for that sacrifice. This number 407 is a 47 gateway number. That's the agent, and guess who the agent is here? Yep, Pope Aramas. So here's our photo op. If you look at this area from the top, this is Orion. These are the stars of Orion, and they exactly mirror the Great Pyramids, which are also a star map for the belt stars of Orion. That's also in the Eiffel Tower man that I found in Paris, and many other places. I think it's also for sure in the Benjamin Parkway. So we're going to need to take a look again over there to point that out. So I could keep decoding these things. Just Francis by itself. I already did that work. Let me pull up my note. Yes, so Francis by itself is 70 in the simple, 420 in the English, and 229 in the Jewish gematria. The 229 equals Orion. It also equals the seal, and it equals God is pi. And we saw him lighting a candle at one of the stars of Orion on this page. He's lighting a candle at one of the stars of Orion. I don't know which star this is. Probably worth looking up, because these stars are different. They have different names, and they do have different symbolism for the different stars of Orion. Supposedly that's, the stars of Orion are very deeply coded all over in Vatican symbolism. The Chi-Rho is basically a map of the stars of Orion. And I believe that they worship, the god that they worship comes from Orion. And that's why they worship Orion. Okay, so in the simple and English gematria, Francis's name equals robot, Yahweh, the god that from Orion that they worship, secret, Vatican, Adam and Eve, and shadow. All right, well, stay tuned for the next Pope Nugget. It'll be coming up. These clues are everywhere. You don't have to try hard to find these. Sometimes they're laying right on top. Talk to you soon.